Hello and welcome. My name is Elise and I will be your yoga instructor throughout today's class here with Soleil Yoga Studio. So on my channel you can find a lot of different yoga videos, whether that's yoga for beginners, yoga nidra, and some different classes targeted towards helping to alleviate anxiety and depression through yoga. So this is a passion of mine and I just wanted to create a free outlet and resource for people to be able to come to help to alleviate and aid with these symptoms and different illnesses. So thank you again for joining me here today. This class we're just going to be going through different poses to help alleviate symptoms of depression. It will be a full vinyasa yoga class, and throughout there I will be incorporating these poses and helping to walk through and discuss their benefits. So thank you again so much for joining me here today on your mat. Let's make sure that we can find a comfortable place to begin our practice, whether that's on a mat at home or within your studio. So whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining me. So meeting up on our mats, let's go ahead and start in a child's pose. So you want to just come into this hero's pose with the glutes placed onto the heels. We can inhale together, reaching those arms all the way up, slightly arching the back. And exhale, let's sink all the way forward. You can walk those hands out a bit. And resting your forehead on the mat, we're going to come into that child's pose here. Just connecting to the body and checking in with ourselves before we begin. Taking a long, deep breath here. When you're ready, let's go ahead and inhale, gazing towards those fingertips. We're going to push up into our tabletop position. From here, let's step those feet back and meet up in a high plank. Together, we're going to go ahead and chaturanga down. So slowly lowering those arms, we're going to keep the arms close towards our chest and pull those elbows in nice to our torso. Just slowly lowering the body down. You can drop those knees if that's easier for you. And once we meet here on the mat, we're going to inhale together, pushing up into cobra. This is a great asana to come into. We want to keep those elbows drawn in towards the torso. Draw the shoulders back and gently lift that chest and chin, gazing forward and slightly up. Exhale here, just resting into the stretch. You can gaze over each shoulder for a bit of a deeper stretch. Just reconnecting to the body and doing what feels best for your own needs. On the next inhale, let's tuck those back toes and we're going to push up off the mat, straightening the elbows and pushing those hips up. Inhale here. Exhale, let's come up to that plank. Inhale here, holding that plank. Exhale, let's push those hips all the way back, sinking them up and back as we meet into our downward facing dog asana. So this is going to help with the blood circulation here. We're going to start by just pedaling our feet. Sometimes you'll hear this referred to as walking the dog. We're just going to start getting comfortable and just loosening the muscles within the legs. So just going at your own pace here. And when we're in our downward facing dog, let's go ahead and make sure that we're evenly distributing the weight between the palms and the heels. If you feel more comfortable, you can go ahead and bend those knees. It is completely okay and you'll get the exact same benefits. So just do what feels best for your own body and your needs. Okay, together let's go ahead and inhale. We're going to come into a three-legged downward facing dog. So inhale, let's start with that right leg. We're going to bring that all the way up, making sure to keep the hips squared. And exhale, let's bring it in. We're going to place that foot down just between our palms. So staying in this lunge here, let's go ahead and drop that back left leg, coming into our low lunge. So we can either stretch here, or to make it a little bit more difficult, let's come down onto our forearms here. In our lizard pose, just stretching that hip out. Inhale, pushing back up onto those palms. Let's exhale, sinking back onto that left heel. We're going to reach forward, reaching towards that foot on the right side. Exhale. Inhale, let's go ahead and push back up. And exhale, we're gonna sink that foot all the way back. Inhale here, stretching a bit deeper. And exhale to release back down onto the mat. Let's go ahead and just pedal those knees one more time, getting comfortable here. And now we're gonna go ahead and try our wild thing pose, which is a great pose to come into to help with depression. Let's just go ahead and lift that right leg back up, inhaling here. And exhaling, we're gonna slightly open that hip and start turning towards that left side of the body. You can slowly allow that foot to drop down onto the mat. And let's reach back, arching the back here. Inhale, let's turn that foot and we're gonna kick back up into our three-legged dog. Exhale, dropping both legs down onto the mat here. Okay, so now that we've done our wild thing, let's go ahead and take a quick break to check in with the body, dropping the knees down. We're gonna sink those hips back into our child's pose. And this time I want you to notice the difference between the left and the right hip. Noticing how it feels. One is more open. Let's go ahead and inhale, pushing it up into that tabletop position. This time we're gonna walk those hands back out, but keep the hips elevated. This is gonna bring us into our puppy pose. So keeping those knees on the mat, we're gonna drop the chest and chin to the mat, stretching the upper body. Breathing here, feeling a nice deep stretch throughout the body. Inhale, pushing up onto the forearms, and exhale, sinking down into our Sphinx pose. Let's go ahead and put those hands down directly below the shoulders, and together we're gonna push back up into that cobra. So just reconnecting here. Inhale, let's push up into cobra, keeping those elbows slightly bent. Exhale here. Inhale, tucking those toes. Let's push the hips up off the mat, breathing in. Exhale to release. Inhale, pushing up to our plank. And exhale, sinking those hips all the way back. So from here, we can start to do some spinal rolls, just bringing that body forward and pushing the hips back. We want to just make sure that we're feeling that connection between the mind and body. So listening to what your body feels and listening to your own needs. If that's walking that dog, just pedaling our knees. If that's moving the spine, let's do what feels best for your body right now. And he'll reconnect to how we're feeling. When you're ready, let's go ahead, and this time we're gonna come into our three-legged dog on the left leg. So inhale, lifting that left leg all the way up. Exhale, let's engage the core, bringing it in, and I'm gonna place that foot down. Exhale, let's drop that back right leg. And from here, we're gonna inhale, stretching, opening up that hip slightly. On the exhale, if you want a bit of a deeper stretch, let's come down onto our forearms into our lizard stretch here. Exhale, sinking into this position. One more long, deep breath here. Now inhale, coming back onto those palms. Let's go ahead and sink back. As we exhale, sinking that glute back down onto the right leg. And stretching forward towards our left foot. Breathing here. On the next inhale, let's place that foot flat back down on the mat, tucking our toes. And exhale, we're gonna sink that foot all the way back up. Exhale to release. And again, from here, we're gonna come into that child's pose. So dropping our knees, bringing the hips back, and resting the arms in front of us. Just reconnecting. We want to take quick breaks to reconnect to our body, to our energy levels. how we're feeling. When you're ready, let's gaze towards those fingertips. We're going to push back up into our downward facing dog. So from here, let's go ahead and bring that left leg back up. Inhale into our downward facing dog. And as we exhale, let's open that hip, bending the leg and coming over and across, dropping that foot down. And we're going to extend the body here, stretching back. Inhale, we're going to bring that foot over, coming back up into our three-legged dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. So from here, let's go ahead and just play with the spine coming into what feels best for you. And let's just drop those forearms down into a plank position with the forearms, leaving the lower half in our downward facing dog. This is called our dolphin pose. So we can go ahead and just stretch here. Just doing what feels best for you. Again, you can bend those knees if that's more comfortable. Okay, now inhale, pushing back up onto our palms. Exhale, sinking back into downward facing dog. Inhale, coming to our plank. And exhale, dropping those knees. We're going to go ahead and come into a seated hero's position. So now that we have gone through a couple of different stretches, we're going to go ahead and press up, coming into our standing forward fold. So placing those palms down on the mat, let's tuck our toes and press up. So we have a few different variations here. We can either start with just our regular standing forward fold, reaching forward here. A great pose to help with anxiety relief is to take that index and middle finger and loop it under the big toe. This is simply known as the big toe stretch, where you're going to just lift that toe up and hold here. Again, you can even bend your knees if that feels better. So just connecting to the whole body here, toe to head. And to help with depression, let's go ahead and come into a wide-legged standing forward fold. So bringing those legs to either side, this is really going to help de-stress the body. You can start by stretching. Let's go to that left side here, holding onto that foot. Allowing our blood and oxygen flow to increase and improve here. Now let's sink over to that right foot. Exhale here. Inhale, let's reach to either side, dropping that head. Let's go ahead and grab the opposite elbow here, just simply allowing that upper body to hang. You can allow the spine and vertebra to slowly release and just sway gently back and forth. This can help to improve our flexibility as well in a gentle and calm way. Inhale, let's drop those hands down, placing the fingertips on the mat. We're going to gaze forward, bringing those feet out. We're going to sink back into our garland pose. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, reaching to the left. Exhale to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale to center. Inhale, let's push up into that wide-legged standing forward fold. And exhale, let's walk the feet back together here. Stretching into that standing forward fold. Exhale, bending our knees. Let's come into a seated position on our mats. We're going to do a couple of reclined calming positions that can help you to reconnect, to recharge, and to refocus, bringing that focus back into ourselves, into our body. So let's start with our reclined butterfly position. We want to put the soles of the feet together. And let's go ahead and just gently lie back here. So lying down on the mat, you can either place your hands on the stomach here, or you can place your arms on the inner thighs. adding a little bit more pressure to deepen that stretch. So finding whichever position works best for you, let's go ahead and lie here, just taking a few long, deep breaths together. Inhale, let's place the soles of the feet back flat on the mat, keeping those knees up. Exhale here. Inhale, let's draw those knees in towards our chest, interlacing our fingers on the outside of the shins, drawing those knees in closer, gently pulling them in. Exhale here. Continuing to breathe through this stretch, pulling a little bit deeper with each inhale. Exhale, let's go ahead and bring those legs all the way up. Stretching here, let's exhale one by one, slowly bringing those feet back down to the mat, making sure to engage the core here. And release. So within our corpse pose, this is another great pose to just allow that body to rest. To focus on the breath. Inhale, let's place the soles of the feet on the mat, slightly bending the knees but leaving a bit of space. Reaching our hands down to either side, we want to find our heels just to meet our fingertips here. Together, let's inhale, pushing up into a bridge pose. So inhale, lifting those hips up off the mat. You can go ahead and support your lower hips with your arms if that feels better. Or we can draw those shoulders under and either interlace our fingers here or just reach towards those heels. So breathing through, we want to push those hips up off the mat. And exhale to release, slowly lowering the hips back down. One more time when you're ready, let's go ahead and inhale, this time trying to push up just a little bit higher. And from here, we can slowly play around with this bridge pose, whether that is moving in a circular motion or whatever feels best for your body, making sure to be playful with this and feel what feels best for your own body, how you can connect to your body and recognize what you're feeling, and how to provide a solution. And exhale to release. Inhale, drawing those knees back in towards our chest. Exhale, releasing the legs all the way back down onto our mat into our corpse position. Let's take a long deep breath here together. And when you're ready, let's slowly lift up, coming up into a seated position on our mats. So meeting back in the center of our mats, slowly and gently when you're ready. Thank you so much for joining me here today. It has been a pleasure to guide you throughout this class, and I hope that you are able to subscribe and join me for more free classes, outlets, and resources to help manage anxiety, depression, PTSD, and just learn a bit more about yoga practice and mindfulness. Thank you again, and namaste. Together, let's take a deep breath in. And exhale, slowly surrendering that upper body down. Inhale, lifting back up. Thank you again, and I hope that you're able to take this feeling of calm, this feeling of connectedness with you throughout the rest of the day. Namaste, Elise.